Okay, let's start workshop 6, tag 11. Good evening, everybody. I'm so pleased to be with you today. Today, I will start talking about understanding language practice activities. So, by the end of this session, you will have recognized how some activities are flexible and can be adapted to different levels. Chosen language practice activities which correspond to learning outcomes. You will have justified your choices of practice activities when lesson planning. So first, I'm gonna speak about flexible activities or activities. Here we open our epoch page 123. We are gonna read different comments from different teachers. I need you to read these comments. I need you to read these comments and think, do you agree with them or not? Again, I need you to read these comments and think, do you agree with them or not? Okay? So you have 2 minutes to read these comments and then we will discuss them. So you have 2 minutes. Quickly, please. Okay. Who can read the first one?
Okay, I can read it.
Okay.
Yes.
Who's speaking? Who's speaking?
Miss Amani.
Okay, Miss Amani, read.
Miss Amani.
Okay, read, Miss Amani.
We need activities. We need activities to practice speaking, listening, reading, and writing that we can use with all our classes.
The teacher's name, Kaya from Kazakhstan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So do you agree? Do you agree with this comment?
Yes.
Okay. So who can read the second one? Who can read the second one?
Yes, Mister.
Okay, who's speaking?
Asma.
Okay, Miss Asma.
Flexible activities that we can adapt to use with various levels and different ages are essential when we have limited resources and large groups.
Okay. So Geeting Gel from India. Okay. And the last one, storytelling and dictation techniques, as well as songs and poems, can be used with all ages and levels in the English classroom. Rafael from Argentina. Okay, I think we all agree with these comments. So, let's move to songs and poems. Over here, let's start with songs and poems. I'm gonna start this part by watching a video, okay? But before watching this video, I want you to think first. Do you use songs in your lesson? And how do you use them? Okay, who can answer this question?
Yes, sir, I can.
Yes, who's speaking? Who's speaking?
Ghada.
Okay, Miss Ghada. Yes. Can you tell us
Yes,
how
I
do you
use
use them?
I use songs on my lesson. As well as can, you know, not all
Okay,
times.
to
Yes.
introduce what? To introduce what? What is the aim?
For
What's the
example,
aim? Yes.
okay, I make a song to introduce seasons,
Yes. No.
and you watch it. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Sports,
Yeah. Introduce seasons and the adjective.
sports, hobbies.
Yes. I think we watched this video before in our sessions.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Yes, we
introduced
have.
a song about weather, yes, and the adjective that related to the
Yeah,
weather, such
yeah.
as cloudy, windy, and so on. So we can introduce a set of vocabulary through songs. Okay, we use songs for fun, but not only fun. We should have an aim to use songs. Yes, do you agree with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I agree.
Yes. Okay, so now watch how one teacher, Sima, uses songs with their young learners. What ideas does she use? And does she use any of your ideas? Okay, so I want you to compare that with the videos that we gonna watch about. Okay, please, okay, please don't write anything on the screen, please. Okay, so here we are gonna to watch how one teacher, her name is Sima, okay, uses songs where her young learners. So think about, as I said, think about what ideas does she use, and does she use any of your ideas or not? Okay, so let's watch the video.
I just think that songs are used very often just as gap fillers or warmers, which I think is an absolute waste. There's vocabulary sets you could teach. There's, like Donald had a farm. All the farm animals done, we do, of course, phonic sounds, that sound recognition. The name is O and the sound is R. The name is C-O-K and the sound is. The name is. We do parts of the body. We do clap your hands, so you've got action verbs. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then how does Peter go to school? That's another whole unit in P2. So much language can be delivered and recycled, because the feature of a song is repetition. But compare that to a drill. The motivation levels like spike, when it's in a song. 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 little candles on a chocolate cake. Now there are 8. 2 little candles standing in the sun. Now there are 9. With the P1s, because when they first came, they had absolutely no English, most of them. Sammy, of course, has some. But the rest of them didn't even have the alphabet. All they could say was good morning and I love you and and you're so beautiful. That's about it. Have a nice day. angel, where is angel? Go forward, go backward, go right, go right, salad. There you go. So 1, 2, 3, go left. Around, touch the ground, stand up tall, and clap your hands. So a lot of gestures accompanying the classroom language, which you saw in the motion song, that stand up tall, look at me. Now, a lot of these things I use when I'm actually teaching big books and doing shared reading, like when I want them to arrange themselves in a semicircle in front, like with me. We sit in a little huddle and we read books, you know, but I'll tell them to move forward, move backward, move a little right. That's already been established with that routine song. You see what I mean? So it helps a lot for the smooth transition or the smooth flow of the lesson. So they're not going, huh, when you say move right or move left, because I'm not going to use Chinese. And I'm trying for them not to rely on translation. You don't have to have a singing voice because it's not about you. It's not about a performance. It's about sensitizing students to rhythm and stress in English. You don't want to sing it, you're conscious of a singing voice, don't sing. But give them rhythm so that they have all these features of connected speech fall into place. It's magic. Karaoke is very popular, of course, in this side of the world. I put up a list outside my door and I have them put down their requests. It's just surprising. Kids who are like so quiet in class come out and let it loose.
Okay, so the feedback. Teachers often see songs as a fun way to spend some time in a class, perhaps at the beginning or end of the lesson. So, as she said, as a gap filler or a warmer, okay, a warmer. Seema said that she thinks songs are much more valuable than that. Okay, we shouldn't use songs only as a fun way, as a fun in the class, but we can use it for an aim. She talks about using songs to develop whole sets of vocabulary, to introduce vocabulary such as animal. As she said, Old MacDonald had a farm. Okay, this is a song. This is a popular song. Okay, and parts of the body, directions, and some language, classroom language. Okay, to help with sound recognition. Okay, sound recognition and the rhythm and the stress of English, and also to motivate learners to participate. Okay, and Seema also says the parts of songs, words or phrases can be recycled in other aspects of the lesson, such as when she gives an instruction, okay, such as open the door and go to the left of the class and open your book and so on. Finally, she lets her learners choose some of the songs. She said at the end of the video, she make a list or put a list on the door of his classroom, and she asked her students to write their favorite songs. Okay, and and she will choose one of them to sing in the classroom as a karaoke. Okay, as you watch it in the video. Okay. Karaoke means a very popular activity or a very popular approach. Students take turns to sing the well-known songs. Okay, as you watch it. So over here, these are 7 questions. 7 questions with whatever the practice activity, whatever the practice activity that you want to apply, you should or you need to think about these questions. So what are these questions? Such as what? What exactly are the learners practicing? Okay. Is it grammar or vocabulary? Okay. So what is the aim of this activity? Okay. What do you want to introduce? A grammar, vocabulary, phonetics or phonic sound? Are you focusing on accuracy or fluency? Are you practicing other skills such as reading, writing, listening? Who is this practice for? The age or the level? What is the age group and level? What are the needs of the learners? And what are they able to do, capable of? Okay, so feedback what you teach. So who can read? Who can read this paragraph? Who can read? Yes. Who can read? Who can read? Any volunteer?
Yes, Mr.
Yes, Miss Amani.
What you teach, let's imagine, for example, that you are going to teach your learners how to talk to a shop assistant when they are buying something, asking them to write
Appropriate and
appropriate
appropriate
dialogue for
dialogue.
how more homework is probably not the best practice activity uh, simply because they will be practicing writing, not speaking.
Okay, if you
So
want to,
you
if
need
you
to be
want,
very
okay,
clear about
okay, please 1 minute. If you want to improve the speaking skills, okay, and you asked your learners to make such as a dialogue and ask them to write this dialogue. So you practice writing, not speaking. So you should determine the aim of your activity before do it. Okay, so you need, okay, go on, Miss Amani.
so you need to be very clear about what skill or language area you want to practice and then choose or design activities which are best suited for this purpose.
Okay, so you need to be very clear about what a skill or a language you want to practice. Okay, what a skill do you want to improve? Okay, and then choose or design activities which are best suited for this purpose. So that's what I mean. What you teach. Okay, what do you want to introduce? What is the skill that you want to improve? Okay. Next. Who you teach. Okay, so who can read? Who can read?
Yes, Mister.
Okay, go on, Miss Nagwa.
Yes. The obvious answer to this question is for the learners, of course, practice activities are designed for learners, but there are different learners in every class with different levels of language proficiency and activity, which is appropriate for some might prove too simple or too difficult for others.
Yes, so the activity you should choose the activity that that's suitable for all levels, because some activities may be so easy or simple for some students or some learners and too difficult for others. Okay, Miss, read.
Yes,
Yes,
a
yes.
practice activity can be considered effective only when it provides learning opportunities for learners of more than one level. In teaching the present perfect, for example, an ordinary transformation drill can be good for lower level learners, but it soon become unnecessary and boring for others. If instead you show them a picture and ask what they think has happened, everyone will be able to form answers according to their level of knowledge while still using the present perfect.
Okay, so what does he mean by transformation drill? He means a change from a positive into negative, active into passive, a statement to question. That's a transformation drill. Okay, so some activity can be good for lower level learners, but it will soon become unnecessary and boring for others. So instead of that, you show them a picture. Okay, so what should we do? We should show them a picture and ask what they think has happened. What has happened in this picture? So you give a chance for every student to be able to form answers according to their level of knowledge while still using the present perfect. So he will use the present perfect, but according to his level of knowledge. Okay. Okay. Um. So you need to upgrade the activity that you are using. So if you, as I said, if so using something like that transformation drill for a long time, it will become boring. So we need to understand how to adapt the activity to be suitable for the different levels of learners and different levels of knowledge. Okay, here you are gonna to look at some activities that can work at all levels, including the use of songs and poetry. So your learners can practice speaking, listening, reading, and writing, as well as the language area that you want to practice. So, as you look at the activities, think about the following. Have you used these activities before? Did you use them with different level? If so, what did you do to adapt them? Can you think of any tips that would make the activities work well? So try to think of these questions while watching, okay, or while practice these activities together. So let's see one of the activity. Firstly, watch this video and try to identify the name of this activity. Okay, again, I want you to watch this video and tell me the name of this activity. Okay.
After I had got out of bed, I washed my face and hands. After I had washed my face and hands, I had a breakfast. After I had a breakfast, I had my mind. After I had my mind, I went outside. After I had got to the outside, I wrote my life. After I had eaten a bite, I went to restaurant. After I had gone to restaurant, I ate pizza. After I ate a pizza, I went to library. After I had gone to library, I did my homework. After I had done my homework, I visited my grandparents. After I had visited my grandfather, I returned to home.
Okay. So, do you want to repeat it again? Okay, or is it clear? Do you want to repeat it again?
Yes.
Okay. I want to hear the name of this activity. So watch it and try to think what is the name of this activity.
After I had got to bed, I washed my face and hands. After I had washed my face and hands, I had a breakfast. After I had a breakfast, I had my mind. After I had my mind, I went outside. After I had got to the outside, I rode my bike. After I had ridden a bike, I went to restaurant. After I had gone to restaurant, I ate pizza. After I ate a pizza, I went library. After I had gone to library, I did my homework. After I had done my homework, I visited my grandparents. After I had visited my grandfather, I returned to home.
Okay, so what is the name of this activity? Can you tell me?
Yes, mister.
Yes, yes, Miss Amani.
Using after?
Using after? Using a word, yeah? What's it? A
Yes.
certain word? Okay. Uh,
Making
what?
a sentence
What?
using after?
هي دي telling a story. Telling
Yeah,
a story.
yeah, telling a story. Yeah, yeah. So they used maybe they use after, okay, but here the aim of this to tell a story. Okay, so what's the kind of this story? It's called a chain story. Okay, every student begins with the last sentence that his colleague or his friend said. Okay, so he started from the other end. Okay, from the other end. Okay, so this is a chain story. Okay, the teacher in this activity, the teacher give the topic sentence or and then every student add a sentence, okay, in sequence to finish the story. Okay, so we give a topic sentence or a word. Okay, or you may ask one of student to start a story with any sentence. Okay, so let's watch.
After I
Sorry. So let's watch this video. Okay, the next video about also about the chain story. Okay, and here the activity is more clear. Okay, so let's watch.
This activity is an interesting way to get students writing stories. Writing is usually solitary, so this collaborative writing activity is a welcome change for them. As you'll see, words go up one at a time, and no one student can control where the story is going, which means the end result is usually weird and wonderful. Have a look at the board. We've got the beginning of a story here. Do you think it's going to be a nice story or maybe not such a nice story? Sort of saying it was a bad day, okay? In the morning, so we are going to continue this story as a class, as a whole group. But to do that, we have to do it one word at a time, only one word, okay? So you can give me a word and we continue the story. If you want a full stop or a comma, tell me, okay? Or a question mark. In the morning, Sarah, one word.
My.
My. Victor.
My breakfast.
My breakfast. Okay. Paula.
Was. Bad.
Bad. We continue with Isabel.
Bad. Fall.
Is that okay? From time to time, you can brush up the story together if you think there are grammatical problems or problems with coherence and cohesion. Let's stop there for a second and have a look at what we've got. This is useful, isn't it, in a story? Why is this useful, this word?
Because it means continue.
The activity lends itself to a focus on when and why we use the different past tenses. The use of linkers of time sequence. Next. So maybe instead of in fact, we can have next. Later. Those are very useful. Yeah, putting the story in order. You can also go back and make sure there are sufficient adjectives and adverbs, and you might want to elicit more sophisticated alternatives to words like good, bad, or nice. This example leads into the story on page 119 of Gateway B1+, which is why I began with that particular introductory sentence. But you could start with just the words last night, or the students could begin the story themselves. The activity can go on, but it's always a good idea to stop it while the spirits are still high. If the students are enjoying the story, they can complete it in pairs, small groups, or individually.
Okay, so what is the aim of this of using this video or this activity? What is the aim of the teacher, okay, of using this activity? So what is the aim? What does he want to introduce in
Improving language.
by using this activity? Yes, Ms. Mona?
Improving language.
Improving language? Okay, by using what? He used a certain tense here. What is the tenses that he used?
Present.
Past simple. Okay. Yes, the student at the end of the class said fall, and he corrected and said fell because he focused on past simple. Okay, and he used the key words, and he also used some sequence words such as then, after that. Okay, the word that help the story to continue. Okay, so the chain story. The chain story involves learners working in small groups to create a story. One learners start the story and the other listens. Then everyone take turns to tell a bit more of the story. Okay? You can follow these steps. So organize the students. If you have a large classroom, you can organize the students in 4 or 5 rows or more than that, according to the number of the students in the classroom. Give a blank sheet of paper to the first student in each row and instruct them to write. Everyone write one sentence. The sentence can be about anything, and the others will continue. So when the first student in each row is finished writing, he or she should pass the paper to the next student in the row. Have students continue adding the sentence to and passing their sheets of paper until they reach the last student in each row. So invite the last student in each row to read the sentences on the paper aloud, or as a teacher, collect the papers and read them yourself to the class. Okay, so these some steps that you can follow to teach or to do this activity with large groups. Okay, any question? Okay.
Yes, sir. Excuse me about the first video.
Yes.
They use the grammar of after. Is it right?
Yes, after the breakfast, after he used the word after, but what is the
word or the grammar of after?
Yes. No. The word. Okay, the word.
I can't hear you. Sorry. The word, not the grammar, huh? Okay.
Okay,
thank you.
I want here. He wanted to make a story, only story.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
Okay, he wanted to make a chain story. That's the
Yeah.
About the
using
daily
the verb.
activity, I think.
Yes. Please. Yes. Who is talking? I'm sorry. I want to. I had to mute you all. Okay. If you want to speak, unmute yourself. We only have 1 minute in this session. Okay. Any questions about what we said? Any questions? Yes. Any question?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So the next activity, before the next activity, okay, so what could you do to help lower levels tell a chain story? What could you do? Okay, and the other question, how could you extend the chain story activity to practice writing? I want you to take a screenshot because we don't have a time in this session. Okay, take a screenshot and try to think until we enter again or enter again to the session. Okay, so take a screenshot and try to think in these two questions. Okay, because we don't have any time in this session. Okay, we will go out, all of us. Okay, my dears, as you said, I returned to the video that Mrs. Mona talked about. The aim of using the video is using the rule after. Okay, how to use after in the past perfect. Okay, Miss Mona, can you hear me? As Miss Ghada?
Miss Ghada. Okay.
Yeah, Miss Ghada. Okay. Yeah, the aim of using the activities that chain story in the first video is
Yes.
past perfect using the word after. Okay.
Yes. The grammar. Okay.
Yeah, it's a grammar. Yeah, it's a grammar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Ms. Ghada.
You are welcome.
Okay, so what could you do to help lower levels tell a chain story? Can you tell me what could you do to help lower levels to tell the
I
chain?
think the second video is more suitable for lower levels. Okay.
The
The
second
first will
one,
be difficult for them. Yes.
but he
Yes.
used it with the teenager. But the
I
teacher,
know, but he will use only one word. Okay, but the first he had to give me a full sentence, and that will be difficult for him.
ده المفروض ان الطالب هو اللي بيقول.
in English, please. In English, please. In English, please.
Yes,
Okay.
the student will say only one word in the
Yeah.
second video. Only one word.
Okay.
Is it right?
Or
But in the first one,
yes.
yes, I think
I hear
that
you.
the second will be suitable. I ask the lower levels to give me only one word. You understand
Okay.
what I mean? Okay. The second, I can help them with the pictures. Please, can
I'm sorry, Ms.
mute,
Ghada. 1
please?
minute, please. 1 minute, please, Ms. Ghada. I will mute you all. Please unmute yourself if you don't want to speak. Okay, Ms. Ghada, you can complete. I'm sorry. Yes, Ms. Ghada.
No problem. I can use pictures for him to help him.
Yes, excellent. Yes, that's
Okay.
a good idea. We can use cards with
Realia pictures.
Yes.
Like that. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for this good idea. That is the right answer. We can use cards with pictures and or words to use as prompts. Okay, so means a promise means to push them. Prompts means to push them to tell a chain story as a motive. Okay, a picture or a word as a motive to tell a story. Thank you so much, Melghada, for this brilliant idea. Okay.
You are welcome, sir.
Okay, so thank you so much. How could you extend the chain story activity to practice writing? Can you tell me? How could you extend the chain story activity to practice writing? I think it's easy.
Questions? Giving them more questions?
I want to the chain story. The aim of a chain story to make the student speak. Yeah, do you agree with me?
Yeah.
Okay, so how can we turn this activity to practice writing? How? From speaking to writing. How can we do this?
If they
You
use
put
new
this and write
vocabulary,
down it.
we can read them new vocabulary.
Yeah, write vocabulary or write a story.
Mhm.
Write that story.
Yeah.
Write down.
Yeah,
Write down.
we can ask them to write the story that they made. That they made. Okay, so
Or give summary. Give
yeah,
summary of the story, what they
yeah.
understand of it. They can give in 3 sentences, 4 sentences, not all the story.
Not all the story. Yeah,
Not to be difficult for them.
Yeah. Learners could write the story their groups created in class or at home. Okay, so thank you for your brilliant ideas. Okay, the second activity, dict gloss. Dict gloss, is an activity that we can use to dictate some words, such as, for example, a dict gloss is a very flexible type of dictation, which involves listening to the teachers or the teacher, speaking in groups, writing and checking. How? The teacher reads a short text to the learners who just listen, okay? And the teacher read the text again and ask the learners to take notes. Then they work in groups to recreate the text from their notes. Okay, so this is a dict gloss. Okay. How could you adapt the dict gloss activity for lower levels? How? Can you tell me? How could you adapt?
Using
say I
simple
can.
topic.
Yes.
Okay.
What? How? Yes. Sorry, I don't hear anything.
Go ahead, Mrs. Mona.
Using
Go
simple
ahead.
topic.
Who is speaking, please?
By using the simple topic. منحنيش مثلا.
Okay, Miss Mona. Yes.
Mrs.
By
Mona.
using the simple topic.
Okay.
By
As we said,
using this, yes.
We use dict gloss to as a type of dictation, a flexible activity we can use as a type of dictation. So how can you use this activity, okay, for lower level? How?
Can I speak?
Yes. Who's speaking?
Okay. Reda.
Okay, we miss you so much, Ms. Ghada. Okay.
Thank you. Sorry, I was very sick. Okay.
Okay.
This again, I make it for pair works. Okay, two students. I'll stick on the door of the class a paper and write down on it some book. Okay, some new book or old book. One student to go out. Okay, to know the word and come again to the student in the class, and he dictate the word for him, give him the spelling, and he write after him. Okay, that make competition dictation.
Okay. But he's talking about.
Can you get it?
Text. Yes. Yeah. He's talking here about a text. Okay, you give a text for
not a text. Only just voc and the small voc because they are low levels.
Okay, that's a
low
good
standards.
idea.
Not students. Excellent students. For excellent one, I can give them sentences or text as you say.
Okay, so if you have a text, what should we do? We should give learners a copy of the
simple words.
Yeah, the text. We already have a text. We have already the text in their curriculum or in their book, and we want to make a dictation. So how can we do this? We can give them a copy of the text with a chunk missing. Okay, some missing words, and they just focus on those bits. Okay, that's according to lower levels. Okay, if we deal with lower levels, but if we deal with high levels, okay, we can say the text and ask them to take notes and then write down the text or dictate the text. Okay, sir. Okay, so the next activity, I want you to I'm sorry. I have to. I have to mute you all. If you want to speak, unmute yourself. Okay. So the next activity. The next activity is vanishing dialogues. What is the mean of this activity? In this activity, the first step in this activity, we ask the students to invent or make a dialogue. Okay, to invent or make a dialogue. For example, they are at a clothes store, okay, and we want to make a dialogue between a customer and assistant. So the dialogue may be like this. Okay, I think it's easy, but I give it as an example. Okay, so the first student may say, "Hello, can I help you?" Okay, this is an assistant. Okay, hello, can I help you? The customer may say, yes, I'm looking for anything, a hat, a skirt, a shirt, pants, so on. So the assistant will reply, hats are over there. Thank you. Okay, so the assistant will say, you're welcome. Okay, so this is a dialogue. I will ask a student to repeat the dialogue more and more. Okay, this is the next or the second step. Okay, I will write the dialogue on the board and ask the student to repeat the dialogue more than one time until they memorize the dialogue by heart. After that, bit by bit, remove a word for phrase. Okay, please, I want you to repeat. Okay, we want to do this activity together. So repeat this dialogue. Okay, so unmute yourself and repeat this dialogue together. Hello. Okay, together, please. Hello, can I help you? Yes, I'm looking for a hat. Hats are over there. Thank you. You're welcome. So bit by bit, we will remove some words, such like this. Okay? So, and you will ask the students to repeat the dialogue again, okay, with missing words and complete the missing words. So, the students, hello, can I help you? Yes, I'm looking for hats. Hats are over there. Thank you. You're welcome. So you will remove some words again, like this. So, can you complete the dialogue? Yes. Hello. Can I help you? Yes. I'm looking for hats. Hats are over there. Thank you. You're welcome. So, do you need the words? No, we don't need the words. So, the dialogue will be like this. So, we will remove, the teacher removes the words until the dialogue vanish. Okay? Okay, or has vanished. Okay, like this. So, you will ask the students to repeat the dialogue. Okay, so hello, can I help you? Yes, I'm looking for a hat. Okay, hats are over there. Thank you. You're welcome. This is an easy dialogue. Okay, I give it as an example. Okay, but I think it's an interesting activity that you can use to with your learners to learn them the conversation, language functions, and so on. Okay.
That's a new idea. I did it with only one word.
Only one word.
Yes, only one word. But that's very good to make all the sentences, all the dialogue. Yeah.
As in listening in time curriculum. Yes. In time curriculum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then we can ask.
And in reading, but
yes, we can ask the learners after that. I think they can memorize the whole dialogue. So we can ask, okay, to practice speaking also. Okay, we can ask the students to practice this dialogue in pairs. Yes. Okay.
They can write it after that. If they give it, they can write it.
They can write this. You can erase the dialogue from on the board and ask them to write it. So you introduce speaking skills, listening skills, and writing skills. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how could you extend the vanishing dialogue activity? As Ms. Ghada add, you can you can ask the students to do what if you want to extend the vanishing dialogue activity. What can you ask the students to do?
Okay, we can draw the session, draw the place.
Okay, and or we can ask them to create a dialogue with their own words. Okay, a similar one. Okay, not only hat. Okay, he can create a dialogue.
Change the hat. Yes.
Yeah, from his words. Okay. Or we can ask them to act. Yeah, we can ask two pairs, a pair of them, okay, to come in front of the class and act the dialogue between them. And
change the place.
Yeah, and I did this.
School, for example.
I did this activity
at home.
I did this activity in grade 3 with grade 3, and I think it's so interesting. Okay. And make the students more brave to speak and don't shy. Okay, and they become so interesting and happy to participate with me. Okay, so this all about vanishing dialogues, and also songs and poems. Only some notes about songs and poems. Songs and poems are usually very memorable and good fun. So they can be used with older learners as well as children. So the teacher can ask learners to listen specific words or grammar structures. Okay, so we can introduce, as we said, a set of words, grammar, structures, and so on. So the learners can learn a song or a poem, complete gaps, discuss them, and write the story in their own words. Okay, so this is the songs and poems, and we talked about this. So how can you use songs with younger learners? How can we use them? We use songs with younger learners. How?
First, to learn them alphabet.
Alphabet? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the younger. Yeah. Parts of the body.
Parts of the body. Yes. Doing actions. We can ask them to do actions in the if the song has any action.
Miming.
Yeah.
Through miming.
To act and do actions. So you young learners enjoy singing along and doing actions or acting them out. As you watch it in as you have watched it in the video. Okay, the students are so so interested and they are so fun because we don't give them the information directly. We give them the information or the words or the grammar or the stress or anything in a song. Okay, so I think it's so interesting for them. Okay, next, which tabs belong to the activity? Here I'm gonna to show you some advice tips. I need you to say which advice belongs to each activity. Okay, so we want to choose one of these activities that related to these steps. Okay, who can read at first, and then we can discuss the answer. Who can read, please?
Anyone read, or I can read?
Okay. Okay. Who's speaking?
To
Ms. Ghada?
okay.
Yes, yes, Ms. Ghada.
Yeah. To check the group's text, volunteers can write the text on the board sentence by sentence, while their classmates make any necessary corrections. The learners don't have to use exactly the same words, but their writing must have the same meaning and be accurate. Sorry, the letter is so small and I can't.
Okay. So what is the answer of this? Okay, who can yes, who's speaking?
Miss Mona.
Yes, Miss Mona.
هي تبقى ديكتالوج.
Yeah, dictogloss.
ديكتولوج.
Yes, dictogloss. Yes.
Dictogloss because corrections. Okay, there are corrections. Yeah. Okay. Okay, and writing must have the same meaning and be accurate. Okay, so this is a dictogloss. Okay, next, who can read? Another one, read, please. Another one, read, please, and we can discuss the answer.
Yeah, find out what letter. Yeah.
Find words suitable before you use them in class.
Yes, what is the answer?
Songs and poems.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's so clear. Songs and poems. Yes, that's right. Songs and poems. Okay, the next one. Sorry. The next one. Yes. Who can read?
Yeah, draw two. Yes, mister.
Yes.
Draw two faces. Draw two faces on the board. Learners invent the names of them.
Yes.
Vanishing.
Yes.
Yeah, vanishing dialogue. Yeah, so each word including the missing word. Okay, and the last activity. Encourage the learners to use their imagination. Telling stories is good fluency practice. So don't worry if you hear mistakes. A referee in each group can make sure the learners take turns and speak English. Set a time limit to control the activity. Then ask a few groups to tell their stories to the class. So, what is the name of the activity? I think it's so clear.
Chain story.
Yeah, I think it's so serious. So you tell a story. Okay, it's a chain story. Okay, here I want you to listen and guess the name of the activity. Okay, so listen, please. Please unmute yourself if you don't want to speak. Okay, because there is a lot of noise in the background. Okay, please listen well. I'm sorry, I have to unmute you all. I'm sorry. Okay, so listen carefully.
This is how I do it. I look at the next story text in the book, or find a story, or even make one up, which is at the correct vocabulary, grammar, and interest level of the students. Then I introduce a title and invite the learners to call out all the vocabulary they can think of around this. This will help them later. I divide the class into groups of 3 if possible, pairs if not. Then, if the learners are young, I tell them we're going to play a game. I read out the story to them at normal speed and ask them to listen carefully to understand it.
The first reading allows the students to get the general idea of the text. Then Daphne reads it again, but gives them a task.
Then I say that this time when I read it, they can write down important words or phrases. Then I ask the groups to see how much of the story they can reconstruct together. I give a time limit to this and monitor to see where there are problems.
At this point, Daphne says that she usually asks her students to specially check a grammar item, for example, the present tense or articles, something that they're working on. If you have taken or adapted the text from your book, it will contain a new aspect of grammar or vocabulary that has recently been introduced.
Then, if there's room and time, I join 2 groups together to make 6. If not, they stay in their groups of 3.
Now she asks the groups to tell her, sentence by sentence, what the original text was.
Following this, I reconstruct the text on the board by getting each group to provide a sentence or phrase. The rest of the groups usually call out their differences, and we all look at meaning and form. And if it's correct, we accept it as an alternative.
By accepting a variety of versions, you demonstrate that there are different ways to express the same idea in English.
Okay, so what is the name of this? What is the name of the activity? Can you tell me?
Vanishing dialogue.
Vanishing dialogue.
Chain story.
Yes. Chain story.
Yeah.
Chain story.
I don't think so. That's a dectogloss.
It's too much. You can't concentrate.
Okay, so you can.
I waited for you to pause.
Okay, so we can listen again. Okay, so you can listen again and answer these questions. So take a screenshot for this. Okay, and listen again, and you will find this is a dectogloss. Okay. Okay, so let's listen again. Okay, if you want to make me pause, tell me.
This is how I do it. I look at the next story text in the book, or find a story, or even make one up, which is at the correct vocabulary, grammar, and interest level of the students. Then
Okay, so where does she get the text? Where does she get the text? She get the text
from the book.
Yes, from the book. Yeah. Yes, from the book. So how does she use the activity to focus on the language point? So listen.
Introduce a title and invite the learners to call out all the vocabulary they can think of around this. This will help them later. I divide the class into groups of 3 if possible, pairs if not. Then, if the learners are young, I tell them we're going to play a game. I read out the story to them at normal speed and ask them to listen carefully to understand it.
The first reading allows the students to get the general idea of the text. Then Daphne reads it again, but gives them a task.
Then I say that this time when I read it, they can write down important words or phrases. Then I ask the group.
Okay, so she told them a story, and she at the first time she wanted them to understand the general idea of this story, and then she told them to do some tasks, such as to write down some important phrases and words. Okay, so listen carefully. So
to see how much of the story they can reconstruct together. I give a time limit to this and monitor to see where there are problems.
At this point, Daphne says that she usually asks her students to specially check a grammar item, for example, the present tense or articles, something that they're working on. If you have taken or adapted the text from your book, it will contain a new aspect of grammar or vocabulary that has recently been introduced.
Then, if there's room and time, I join 2 groups together to make 6. If not, they stay in their groups of 3.
Now she asks the groups to tell her, sentence by sentence, what the original text was.
Following this, I reconstruct the text on the board by getting each group to provide a sentence or phrase. The rest of the groups usually call out their differences, and we all look at meaning and form. And if it's correct, we accept it as an alternative.
By accepting a variety of versions, you demonstrate that there are different ways to express the same idea in English.
Okay, so how does she use the activity to focus on the language points? What did she ask them to do? Can you tell me? She asked them what? I answered this question. She asked them what?
Express by their sentence.
Before express or before tell them their sentence. She asked them to do what? To write.
Concentrate with her.
Yeah.
Listen carefully. Yeah.
And she asked them to write down the important words and phrases. Okay, so we can find the answer here. So this is adaptive loss activity, and she uses text from her course book, or she makes one up herself. Okay, so firstly, she asked them to write down important words or phrases. Later, she might ask them to use the text to focus on grammar items they might have learned already. Of course, or often course book text include language that has been recently introduced. Okay, so she asked them, she focused on what? Important words, phrases, and the grammar in this activity. Okay. Okay,
Grammar,
it shows the learners that the language is flexible. Okay, and that there are many ways to express the same thing. Okay, because she asked everyone to tell the sentences from their own words. Okay, so the language is so flexible. Okay, and there are many ways to express the same thing or the same sentence. We can use many words to give the same meaning. Okay. Here.
Okay, sir.
Here, we watch a couple of teachers talking through an activity they choose to do with some of their learners. They answer these questions. What are your learners' needs? What were you learning aims? What activity did you choose? Tell us about the activity and what did it involve. Okay, so watch the video carefully. I think they discussed two important activity. Okay, so watch it carefully, please. So the first activity question, mingle. So what does it mean by mingle? Mingle means to interact with several people in a friendly manner, as the teacher will ask the students to do. She asked them to get around in the classroom and find a partner. Okay, so to speak with him in a friendly manner, and she do this activity to focus on a problem in their that their students face. So that her students face. So watch this activity.
When my learners have problems with questions, especially with auxiliaries, do, does, did, I organize an activity at the beginning of the class. I give them a piece of paper with a question word or with an auxiliary written. What they have to do is to write a question, any question that they want. After that, they have to stand up and start mingling. The idea is that a student A asks a question at the student B, and a student B answer, and then a student B asked his questions to a student A. Then they have to interchange this paper and continue mingling. I set a time, then they have to go back to their places and sit down. The idea is that they have a different paper, a different question, and ask them to correct the question or to say if the question is correct or not. And then we have feedback session, and on the board, I just write some questions and again, correct or the mistake if there is one, or simply just saying that the question is correct.
Okay, so this is the first activity, the question Mingle. What about taboo? Do you hear about this activity before? Have you heard about this activity before?
No, I don't.
Okay, so what's the meaning of taboo? Taboo cards. It's a kind of cards, okay? Is a word guessing game. Okay, this activity is a word or a word guessing game. So we try to make our students to guess the word or the meaning of the word. The word. Sorry, we give them a meaning and we ask them the word. Okay, so a player choose a card. Okay, and has his partners to guess the word without saying taboo words listed below the word. What does I mean by that? We have a card, okay? The card, for example, someone may have to make his partners to guess the word pool, okay? I want my partners to guess the word pool, okay? So I try to use any words, okay, to make them guess the word pool without some words written in the card, such as a swim, okay, bathing suit or water.
Hammer.
We don't use these words, okay? We can use any word, okay, to make them guess the meaning without using these three words, okay? Water, swim, and bathing suit. This is what I mean by taboo card, okay? Okay, let's watch the rest of the video.
A specific activity that I love using to practice language with my learners is Taboo. Taboo is a fantastic game. I've created my own versions of Taboo. I feel that at higher levels, at C1, C2, even B2 levels of English, students sometimes are looking for that specific word and they get stuck. So I try to help them to paraphrase, to explain, to use other words, but sometimes students are reluctant and they just want that word. So through this game, Taboo, I give them the opportunity to work with that. So Taboo is a very simple game where you have different cards, you have one word at the top that they have to explain, and three words that they cannot use. So for example, a student comes to the front and says, okay, for example, the word is school, but they cannot say education, they cannot say high school or primary, secondary or primary. So they have to students need to guess school. So I would probably say it's a place where we go every day, we learn things, and then the team has to guess that word. Through this, I'm trying to get my students to understand the importance of paraphrasing, the importance of to keep going. You don't remember one word, that's okay. We can work it out, and in that way, it's a way for them to be more fluent, not get stuck, don't lose motivation because they don't remember one little word. So all you need is the cards. There are actually even now free applications on your mobile phones that you can actually download the cards, and it's just swiping. You can create your own. What I did was I grabbed a very old vocabulary books with long vocabulary lists, and I just used those, and I created my own cards. I cut them up and gave them to my students.
Okay, so this is a taboo activity. Okay,
Classroom Mingle is an opportunity for the students to get up and mingle.
Okay, so watch this video, okay? This is about a question mingle also. Okay, so I think it's interesting and clear, okay? Sorry.
classroom mingle is an opportunity for the students to get up and mingle. They walk around and talk to each other about a topic. The first step in using the classroom mingle is for the students to get up out of their seat, walk around where they're getting away from the students that they normally would be participating with or talking with.
So she asked them to get around in the classroom, move around in the classroom, and when they hear a sound, okay, a certain sound, they stop and face his partner and they begin to ask him, okay, as you see.
So walking around the classroom, then the teacher has some type of attention getting signal, which requires the students to stop. So we're stopping, we're looking for a partner, then they find a partner that's close to them, move together to that partner, and then wait for the teacher to pose a question that they then discuss together. The tool allows students to talk, and talking increases learning. So rather than listening to me talk, they're talking to each other. It also allows them to share and listen to each other's ideas rather than listen to just my idea. Anything that increases the participation of my students, I'm all in favor of. 100% of the students are engaged. They're either engaged by talking or they're engaged by listening to one person who is speaking. Then secondly, it just increases movement and students like getting up and not being confined to their seat.
So she said that 100% of the students participate in this activity. Okay, if he is shy to speak, he can listen. Okay, so that's this activity, a question bingo. Okay, and at the end of this session, you will find some tasks on Google Classroom, and I ask you to answer. Okay, you will find these tasks tomorrow, inshallah. Okay, I'm so happy to be with you and this fruitful session and your attendance and your I appreciated your attendance and your participation in this session. Thank you so much. And the next session will be the last one in this course. And I wish you all the best, inshallah. Okay, so our next session will be on next Friday, okay, or Thursday, okay. After I finish the preparation of the session, I will tell you the date of it, inshallah. Okay, so thank you so much and see you soon, inshallah.